למד כל הירושלמי. איפה הבחור?
הוא היה לפני החתונה של הרב.
הוא עושה סימן על כל הירושלמי, הוא רוצה ברוך שלא יצלח שזה כל התאי.
לפני החתונה.
The Rambam is asked a question, and the question is, what is the meaning of life? And for that, he says, it is actually a stupid question. And you can see in Parshas Kedoshim, where it's saying you are to be holy to Hashem. And the Rambam writes, you are to make yourself holy to Hashem. That's it. That's it. That's the purpose of life. And the purpose of life as the Jew in this domain here, not in Olam Haba, not in the resurrection or the time of the Mashiach, but this realm today is to be holy to Hashem, to be very close in a material world to the Holy One, and to refine yourself and to experience all of the blessings that are talked about that you can see in the Shema that is represented as being in this world right now. In Jewish theology, the generations have been descending in Kedusha since Adam Harishon. When something makes a copy of itself, the copy of itself becomes degraded. Adam was created by Hashem himself, and then thereafter, Hashem is helping the man and the woman to have children. It's the three of them together in a partnership. The first person was created by Hashem. Hashem, in the material, draws the form of the man and then blows the breath of life and consciousness into him. We see here these ideas that there is material, there is form, and there is soul. The Kabbalists call it Yesod, which is where soul is now resting within the material and the form. And it's going to be the material that holds together the form, and the form is going to be more refined than the material. And none of this can work without the soul. In a lot of the Midrashic stories, the form of Adam, it was just elevated. It was higher and he was taller. His skin was more luminous. There's a correlation with these generations descending. You can reverse that. The Jew can reverse that. And what can you do to reverse that? Make yourself more holy. You can refine yourself by following the halachot accurately. What is an accurate following of the halachot? It is following it with all the details and implications of what is said in the Torah, that is going to be Doraita, as well as all of the rabbinic restrictions that are there to protect the Torah obligations. And only a Jew who works very hard at digging into the mechanisms and the mechanics of all of the details within each halacha can attain that. All of these people that are sitting there doing business in the world today, that are not studying Torah law on a daily basis for business transactions, as the Chazon Ish says in his book, Faith and Trust, in Amunah and Bitachon, that these businessmen are stealing on a daily basis. The Torah law is very intricate. There's a lot of concern about making sure that there's no misleading, there's no trickery at all in any transaction. So somebody who is not sitting there on a daily basis and honing themselves at this, for sure they are stealing on some way. When you have theft in business, it is very serious and you get special punishments, because Hashem really, really does not like theft. It's very important to follow the leaders of the generation, and it's very important to make yourself holy so that you have the merit with your children, and you have the merit with your possessions and with yourself, and most importantly, you can have the experience that is promised to each and every Jew, to have this metaphysical experience where you are getting all of these blessings by being close to the only one that can help you. That is the creator of the universe. That is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as articulated by our teacher with the laws of Moshe Rabbeinu and passed down through to the sages and our Gedolim, and it's very important to follow the Torah and our generation's leaders and to learn about Torah and mitzvot, because that is how you make yourself holy, and if you do it, you will experience an existence that is close to HASHEM. People today are surrounded in a wave of TUMAH, and it is these forces of TUMAH that come and degrade us when we end up having more and more TUMAH in our life, which is going to be unholy sources and more sin and spiritual contamination that we get from sin. We end up descending, and we end up where the material we have and how we are formed, and that flesh and our form and our soul ends up becoming more coarse, and it degrades and it descends and gets further away from Kodesh Baruch Hu, from the holy source. And so what ends up happening is there is less divine providence shining on you, and there is less divine light shining on you. You are further away. And what happens when you have less divine help? You will experience it like you've been thrown to nature. You will experience the world where it'll seem like things are random. And the more you descend with coarseness, the less you can see the workings of heaven, and the less you can experience it. And most of what you will experience is going to just be the punishments from sin, and you will not taste the sweetness of being close to the divine source. The more holy you make yourself, and the only way you can do that is with Torah learning, the more you will experience the warmth of that divine light, which is going to be divine providence and this continuous creation through divine emanation. And the more close you are to the Holy One, to the source, the more real you are, the more reality you have. You end up where your form, your material, and your soul is more refined, and so you are able to reflect more of this divine providence and light. You can experience all of the blessings that the Torah talks about because you are holy to HASHEM. That is the purpose of life. There is no sweetness in the world like a sweetness where you have a connection and a closeness because you made yourself so holy by doing Torah and mitzvot. Have a great day.